We're talking to the man with the gold medal for the Australian sailing team. There it is. Have a look at that. That's Rio 2016. And that's Tom Burton, laser sailor extraordinaire, who pulled off one of the greatest starts in the history of medal racing for lasers. Now, Tom, I think you better take us right to the start and show us and tell us exactly what happened and why you did it and what you thought about it and how lucky and how unlucky or whatever you thought you were. So when you got up in the morning, what was your first thoughts?
Yeah, so obviously the day before we had missed racing, so we were supposed to race the medal race on the day before we actually did. So we sat around all day sitting in the container with no wind, just rigged up the boat and just sat there, and we were northerly wind, so we weren't really going to race. And then the girls eventually got sent out, and then a big sou'wester front hit, but we'd already been called off. So that was a kind of stress-free day, and we were just chilling out. The next day, woke up. A lot of the stress was from the day before, where we thought we were going to race. So a lot of conversations between what are the possibilities that could happen, what we thought could happen, ways that could go really bad for us, ways that could go really good for us. So the morning of the race, it was just another quick refresh on the things that are going to help to win, and the things that we need to be aware of and be prepared for. So things like being to the right of the committee boat, so we can't get pushed the wrong way and get controlled of. Things that were going through my mind is just not really engaging until last minute. So penalty in a laser, it's not very big unless it's done at the exact right time. So it needs to be done with 40 seconds to go, or a time where you can get back to the start line and the other boat can't. So that's pretty much what happened. So when Tonchi was attacking me, and I was kind of trying not to engage, so I didn't really want him to know what I was going to do, and I didn't really want him to figure out how he could get out of situations. He got me a few times, and I quickly got out of them, but then just let him come and get me again. So
so what, you sucked him in, did you?
A little bit. I didn't really want to show that I was attacking gold too much. I wanted to show that I would be happy if we just did a normal race.
But you guys were way by yourself, weren't you?
Yeah, we were way by ourselves. In a kind of safe zone. So being so far away from the start line's a bit of an advantage. I guess as long as you can use it, it's an advantage for either one of you, because once you get away, you can sail clear. You don't have to stop because you're too close to the start line and wait and let the boat catch up. So it's a very timed run to the start line, and if you nail it, then there's nothing the boat behind you can do, because you don't have to stop and wait for them.
So you were 1 and 2, he was 1 and you were 2,
yeah,
as far as numbers are concerned. So was he chasing you, or were you chasing him?
Yeah, so he was chasing me with about 3.5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go pretty much. So he was,
Do you think that was a risky move on his part?
Not so much. It could have easily gone his way. If you did any day of the week, if you tried to do that, you'd want to be in his position and you want to be able to control the other boat. So it's not so risky for him. The risky thing for him was in the time frame where it was very crucial for him to not get a penalty. He got a penalty. That's the riskiest thing, So
you forced him, didn't you?
Yeah. So in that time frame, that's I had one shot to do it. If it lasted any later, I would have had to been going sailing to the start line, because we were too far away from the start line. So that was the one time that I could possibly do it. And I hadn't had any goes at him yet, so he wasn't really aware of what I was going to do or anything.
He wasn't prepared for it.
I'm sure he was. He's a world-class sailor, but I hadn't done any of the moves attacking him. I was always in defensive mode. He attacked me about 3 times, and so I hadn't never attacked him yet until the one that counted.
Were you counting them? Were you saying, I'm ready to go, now go?
Yeah, for sure. There was like a minute and a half left, and I was this is the only shot I've got. It needs to happen now, and it couldn't have gone better for me with the timing wise, but I didn't plan that when we were in the situation where I was trying to get a penalty on him. I lost track of time.
What happened at that particular moment? What did you do to him? You pushed him up?
Yeah, so he had hooked me 3 times, and I had backed out of it, so to get rid of the windward leeward overlap. So the last time when I did it to him, he tried to back out of it as well, and I backed with him. Yeah, and then he I think, you know, there was a coach boat right behind us that was pretty close to us and zoomed out of the way. I've only seen it in replays. I didn't really see that at the time. But what ended up happening, he kind of lost control with his back a little bit. And if two boats are backing, it's still windward lured. So while we're both backing, I can kind of move to windward, and because he's backing as well, it's still windward lured. So I've got rights over him, and the gap just closed, and he lost control of his backing a little bit, and yeah, he pretty much went head to wind and kind of just drifted into me. And windward lured, I got a penalty on him.
And then you fell away. It was then the start, wasn't it?
Yeah, then it was, I probably wasted, a few seconds trying to get my protest flag out. I wasn't really aware at the time because I was pretty excited that I got a penalty on him. One, because now he's not attacking me because I'm going to be in front of him. And two, because, that's the goal. That was the whole goal of the situation. So I'd lost a little track of the time, but when I was sailing back to the start line, I was like, this is nearly perfect.
What do you mean, nearly perfect?
I was, 5-8 seconds late.
That was damn good, mate.
Yeah, one of the big things that hurt me a little bit was the big committee boat and the wind shadow behind that. So falling into a little wind shadow there, but yeah, it couldn't have got much better. Yeah,
but at the same time, he's back there having to do a 360, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's still, he could be last, but if I'm too far in second last and without the chance of catching up, it still works in his favour.
Oh, but you were running away from him, for heaven's sake. He was still mucking around.
Yeah, but if I was 10 seconds later, I would have been too far behind the fleet and I wouldn't have caught up. I only caught up just in the last bit of the last leg of the race. So, if I wasted 10 more seconds, and then I would have had to maybe think to try and risk more to catch up faster, and then if that didn't come off, then it would have gone all pear-shaped from there. So, being right on the tail of the guys, kind of in my mind, let me calm down a little bit, and thinking that I'm really quite close. All I need to do is chip away and get closer, a few metres at a time, and get back in the race and leave myself a chance even on the last downwind. So whereas if I was a little bit later, I would have, going through my mind, I would have been thinking I need to catch up a lot, and maybe taking some more risks. So I was very minimal on the risk that I took on the first upwind. I just wanted to be in touch at the top mark, and that's what I was able to do.
So how many went past in the first leg?
None in the first leg, none in the second leg.
You just got on the end of the
just got closer.
Were they all bunched up?
Yeah, they were bunched up a fair bit. At the top mark, I was still second last.
That's good, isn't it? Because,
yeah, it was,
you get one, you get three.
Yeah, definitely. They're all fighting each other, and they're taking the long way around sometimes to try and pass each other. And I was, just getting closer by the second, really, because they were, having to fight each other. After watching the replay, there was a big gain at the bottom mark where I was able to split the gate, where three boats were really compressed going around one gate, and I was able to sail around the other gate clean by myself, and that helped me pass two boats up the next beat, and get me up to fifth, I think, because one boat got pulled out at the top mark from being OCS, and then on the last downwind past another one halfway down, and one more right at the bottom, to really clinch it.
So that last downhill run, how was that? How did you feel there?
A little bit more calm than the first upwind. The first upwind, even though I had done a good start and was in a good position relative to...
Did you see where he was?
Yeah, I could see he was way behind, but even though I was second last, Sam Meach from New Zealand was third. So at that halfway up the first beat, I was in bronze medal position, and I knew that. Even though I needed to catch up just to not even get gold, but even to hold silver, I needed to catch up. So that was also going through my mind. So half the race I was not thinking about gold so much because it was still a long way off, but even needed to get through silver on the way to getting gold on the last downwind.
Just counting as they went by.
Yeah.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. Well, it just proved one thing, Tom. Our sport is such a good sport, and it's such a good head sport too. Because he was gone. When you did that to him, he psychologically he'd had it.
Yeah, definitely. He was pushing quite hard, and it showed down the last run. He got a yellow flag, but I've watched the replay 2-3 times now, and it would have I've been in medal races where I've been in his position, not because I've been match raced, but because I've missed the first shift and been put right at the back, and it's just demoralising. You can't do anything. You try and catch up in one big foul swoop, and it obviously goes bad because 10 of the best guys in the world are in that race, and if they're going one way and you're the only one going the other way, it's pretty unlikely that you're the one that's going to pay out.
Well,
so.
mate, there is a precedent. You remember in 1983 in Newport, Rhode Island, one boat went one way and the other one went the other way, and the one that went the other way made the last mark and won the race, didn't it? The America's Cup.
Yeah, but this is, there's 9 boats going one way and one boat going the other way, so the odds of everyone getting the wrong way is pretty slim. So it's demoralising, I guess, for him. Sailing around the back, doing everything he can to sail fast and catch up, and slowly watching me, pick one off. Because halfway through that race, he would have still been thinking he's got gold for sure. So I can't imagine what was going through his mind, and only he knows that, I guess. And it was.
Well, I can imagine.
It all came together for me, and it really couldn't have gone much worse for him.
It was a killer move, mate. Absolute killer move. I think I put on my Facebook page. On Boats on TV. I said, Tom, what a killer move. I knew then. At 5 o'clock in the morning, we were screaming.
Yeah.
Mate, congratulations.
Cheers, thank you.
Excellent. Now, what about your boat? What happens now? You put it away for a while, or what have you got in mind?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Play it by ear, I think. Got a moth ready to go, so I'll pick that up in a few weeks, and I'm very keen to get sailing some other boats and get some more experience in other boats and start going a little faster and just having a different aspect of sailing rather than 3 controls and hiking your ass off.
Now, which America's Cup have you signed with?
None. No.
Tom, you're talking to the World of Water. We know.
No,
not yet?
No phone calls yet, and just pretty keen to get more experience and get out and sail some other boats before. I've done a lot of laser sailing, but not much other stuff at the moment.
You looking to do any big boat sailing, or is it just?
Yeah, for sure. I'll be. The last 4 years, I've kind of been saying no to a lot of opportunities, a lot of people that have asked me to come sailing with them. Because I didn't want to, jeopardise my laser sailing, and I wanted to give everything my laser sailing at 100%, and I wanted to walk away from these Olympics with no regrets and say that I did everything I could to win, no matter what the result was. Obviously, it was great to walk away with the gold, and now I can say that all those things that I said no to was well worth it. But yeah, from now on, I think I'll be saying yes to a few more things, and definitely getting some more experience and meeting some different style of sailors and a lot more friends along the way.
You going to defend in Tokyo?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. It just depends what everything goes. The last year's been a real slog laser sailing. It's been coming down here every day, 5 days a week going laser sailing with a great bunch of guys. But it's definitely been tough. Some days are just deja vu of the day before. So we all push really hard and we all love it. But we all have our moments where we're like, just don't want to do this anymore. But it's holding the gold medal around your neck. That all kind of just gets forgotten. But yeah,
it's not heavy, is it?
It is. I've been wearing it for 2 hours. Yeah. But yeah, it's the feeling overcomes the bad memories of the laser sailing, and it's I've just the sailing's great.
But you had some time off before Rio, didn't you? When you went around Europe, didn't you?
Not really. Like even when I wasn't sailing, I was training, as hard as I could in preparation physically for Rio, and just making sure that I was, best set up as I could be. But yeah, just the fact that I just don't want to say no to any more opportunities. I want to say yes to anyone that comes asking if I want to go sailing and get some more experience on more boats and have fun with it.
And you've got some good sponsors, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got a great team behind us, in the team, outside the team with all the supporters as well that just follow. But yeah, our team's great. All the supporters that within Australia that help us out and make it possible. Naming them, we'll just be here all day. It's just everyone helps out. Even personal sponsors to the team sponsors, it just makes it all possible. It wouldn't be possible to go around Europe for 6 months with no one helping. We definitely need them to help, and it's more special to be able to come here with a gold medal and share it and talk to everyone that's helped along the way and experience it and share it with them.
Mate, it was a great race. Enjoy it when you get to see it again with some commentary to it. But that 5 seconds or 10, 15, 20 seconds or whatever, when you did that, I thought, hello, there's a gold medal for Australia.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I've watched many medal races. I've watched the Ainsley versus Shite one, you know, the 30 seconds to 2 minutes on YouTube from the 2000 games, and on YouTube just, you know, over and over, and to have, you know, a moment like that for myself, and in a great race that I, you know, just pulled out everything that I needed to do, and it all come together, to be able to watch that for years to come, and you know, for people to talk about that is, you know, very special to me.
It's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thanks.